could put the sharpness up a bit, but it might make it a little noisy. Yeah, that's looking a bit noisy. Usually I either use APC or I use sharpness. I like it better there. APC jack is at 1 and 2. 1 for horizontal, 2 for vertical. I could bring it up a little bit higher to bring out a bit more of the dust lanes. Could try it. Let's see. I'll bring it up to, let's try 3 and 4. There's 3 and 4. Spiral arms look a little bit better. Okay, good. Good to know. And it's not too noisy now. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jack. Now let's try the other way. I'm going to, so the brightness is at 66, so let me just take the MCV device and I'm going to turn it up clockwise a bit. Right about there, right where it stops the flicker. Actually, I did have that up. I should be going the other way, not up, I mean down. Let's turn it down. Let's try right about there. And we'll raise the brightness up. Okay, so the brightness went from 66 to 82. Is there any difference at all, or does it basically look similar? Yeah, it's very hard to determine, I'm sure. Yeah, I think I can control the core a little bit better. Okay, let's see if I can get that core down a little bit more without losing any detail. Okay. Okay, I just turned the dial down a little bit and I'm raising the brightness. Brightness is at 90 now. Exactly, Michael. That's exactly what it's doing. It's controlling the black point, the blacks for a nicer background, enhancing the contrast. Okay, Debbie, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. So basically, it is giving you more flexibility, more range with the blacks for background control. So we can increase the contrast and bring out the detail, the dust lanes and spiral arms with a nicer black background. Yeah, I find with the MCV 1E, I find so far it's better to keep the dial down more rather than full clockwise up. Keep it down counterclockwise and use your brightness. Keep your contrast in the video settings at max 63 and just leave the dial there lower and raise the brightness in the video settings. To me it looks like a cleaner image now than before, a little bit cleaner background. It almost looks like a little bit of noise reduction filter has kicked in or something. Maybe it's because of the better black control. Okay, well let's give M97 a try. Let's go over to M97. Let's see how much time's left on that. So that was 2-minute exposure. AGC is at 2. This is for Jack's recording. So AGC is at 2, gamma's at 1, APC is 3 horizontal, 4 for vertical, and this is a 2-minute exposure. And again, AGC is at 2. Okay, so I'm going to stop this and we'll stop the guider and move over to M97. If anybody has any suggestions of objects they want to see, let me know. I will try 66 later. It's just on the edge of the moon glow. Okay, I'm just starting the guider. And I will decrease the exposure quite a bit. Let's go down to 75 seconds. Okay, 75 has begun. Yep, definitely will try 51. I will try 64 also. And NGC 4565 will be a good one. Good evening, Ron. How are you? So we got 40 seconds to go. I'm doing very good, thank you. Nice clear night tonight. Conditions are favorable. Just the moon is the only factor, but the transparency is 4 out of 5. Around 10 o'clock shortly, they're saying it's going to be transparent. 10-11 for 5 out of 5. And wind is pretty low, around 7 miles per hour. Humidity is at 25%, so it's quite a nice night. Hi, Doug. Welcome. Okay, so let me change APC. So that's a 90-second exposure. Yeah, they're trying to come through there, Jack. Good eye. It's hard to pull that through tonight. I do see a little bit of color in the stars a little bit, the triangle stars, tiny bit. I'm going to pull the background not too dark, right about there. Now let me play with this dial again, see if I can lower it a touch. See, I lowered it without losing too much detail there. See, if I use the brightness, watch this, this is a good experiment. Okay, brightness is at 120. I'm going to lower it slowly to try and get a dark background, but look what happens when I lower it. I'm losing the detail in the owl. Do you notice the detail's gone? If I pull it back up, the detail comes back. There's 122 brightness. If I want to darken the background, just so we get rid of some of the noise, I'm losing the red, the outer halo of the owl. So I'll put it back up to 122, right about there, and let's just play with the enhancer, the dial, and lower that instead a little bit, right about there. So it almost looks like it's cutting the background a bit, it's darkening it without clipping the data as much as using the brightness slider. It's acting more like a curve, which is nice. I'll pull it up a tiny bit. I'll leave the brightness at 122. Right about there. See, I couldn't get the background that dark without cutting into the owl. This is a standard Class 1 jack. I haven't gotten yet the M2. I like this standard. It's a good sensor, Class 0 sensor. I really like it. It's a nice one. So this is just the Melicam Extreme. Okay, let me put it up to 90 seconds. That was 75-second exposure, AGC2. Just repeating a few things for the new people who joined us. Okay, so we'll let it run for a little bit. You know what I like about the standard sensor, Jack, is the colors. The rich colors is nice. I don't know if you've noticed the coloration. I like the colors. Yeah. The colors will come with an EX chip, but you need to tweak it a little bit more. You have to play with the saturation hue more. Exactly, yes, yes. More sensitivity in the EX chip, but a little less saturation in the EX. That's correct, yeah. That's what I've noticed too. But remember, sensitivity can be made, or saturation can be made up with increasing it a little bit. Sensitivity, the only way you can increase that is with more exposure. So it's trade-offs. They're both great chips. Okay, so we're just waiting for a 90-second refresh. I'll put my APC up a tiny bit to see if we can pick up the mask of the owl a little bit more. So I went from 0 horizontal to 2, vertical 1 to 3. White balance again. Let me just tweak it again. Go to AWC set. White balance is at ATW. Ten seconds. Now let's see if we can get any, with the extra 15 seconds, see if we get any more of the outer. Oh yeah, that really brought out a lot more. Definitely. Okay, now if I take the brightness 122, go there, I'm already starting to lose some detail in the owl, and the background's still light, and that's 116. So let me bring it back to 122 and just take the dial down a touch. Once you home the dial in, then you can just leave it there, unless you're going to a different, totally different object that has a much broader range of dynamic range. And saturation is at default. Right there. How's that looking so far? I hope I didn't clip the background.